I'm Jamie Duguid. I'm the general manager of Miami Pickleball Club, um, which, as you know, is a team in Major League Pickleball. I've been in the role for let's see, three months now. So which seems crazy because it's flown by. But my background primarily, I've been in sports marketing for the last 12 or 13 years, primarily in soccer. So worked at Major League Soccer for about 5.5 years. And then laterally I worked on stuff around the World Cup and spent some time out in Qatar or working with Visa. So I'm new to the sport of pickleball, or relatively new to the sport of pickleball, but I've taken on this role as general manager of the team. I kind of see it as twofold. One is a traditional general manager, sort of player management side, whether that's trading, whether that's drafting, player management, which is, the steepest learning curve I can get is what I'm going through right now. Trying to understand the sport, trying to understand who to drop and who to pick up, which we did so, with Brendan from a drop from the first MLP to the second one. But that side of it's all about trying to learn and trying to speak to as many people as possible, so that we're making the right decisions as a team. And that'll be really important for the draft coming up in July, for the second half of the season. And then the second part of this role is really just, more so a brand building exercise where we have a new professional team from scratch, with an amazing group of investors in a league that's taking, going off like a rocket ship. But how do we make sure Miami Pickleball Club is bringing on the right partners, marketing itself in the right way, putting on the right events, so that we really are creating what is a professional sports team from scratch. So that side, the more of the sports marketing side, that's probably more so what my experience lends to, but both roles, equally as interesting, and learning on the job in both still. So coincidentally, my older brother Stuart is actually the agent for Naomi Osaka. He's been talking about pickleball for a little longer than me, but him and Naomi and were part of, and to some degree led with a few others, the ownership group that was put together for the team. So that those had obviously had been ongoing discussions for a while, and then once that all got finalized, they were really looking to bring someone on board, to help with, like I said, a general manager role on that sort of two sides to it. First being the player side, second being the commercial or marketing side. So he asked me to come on board, at the start of the year. That's really how I was introduced to really the sport, but also to the team and to the league as well. We wanted to make sure that, we're seen as a premium lifestyle put together brand, that we're kind of ready to go day one in market. And we really represent Miami, which is, this exciting, like post-COVID, like boom city that, where everyone's moving to. And we wanted to make sure that we represent that and the sort of the classiness and all that good stuff around associated with Miami through our brand. So events is a main way that we can do that, because events are designed to show off our brand and our team to fans, or to players, or to owners, or whatever it may be. But our events are a main way that we can represent our brand to the public. So with that, we've only one event in, but we had a sort of a launch event that took place, and the thought around that was, we hosted it during Miami Open tennis. And it was also during the week of Ultra Music Festival, or Miami Music Week, which was timely. There's a lot of people in market. There's a lot of buzz in the market. We wanted to lean into our ownership group, which, there are a couple of tennis players within that, albeit neither could attend because one's pregnant and one's injured right now. But we had good access to tennis players. So we had Taylor Fritz turn up. We had Ons Jabeur show up. We also had a couple of Heat players, including Jimmy Butler, some other really good influencers in the Miami market. So it was a really cool launch event, and the setting was incredible. We put down a pickleball court at this place called Reserve Paddle, which is right on the waterfront in Miami. So, everything about the event, we tried to make it premium. We tried to make it, again, representing who we want to be as a brand. And I think that's just the start. I think moving forward, we're intent on doing more events this year, whether that be more sort of consumer or fan facing, kind of like pop-up pickle events in the city, whether we want to do clinics, whether we want to do amateur competitions or events, to sort of engage the grassroots pickleball community a little more. But we just wanted to set the tone with that brand launch. And I think moving forward is what you'll see is more of the same to a degree. We want to diversify and do a little bit more and reach different consumers, but we want to make sure we stay true to the brand we're trying to create as MPC, as Miami Pickleball Club. I think I kind of talked about the branding a little bit, but we wanted to be very thoughtful with, like I said, our name and create something, a logo that is easily translated in multiple ways. So whether that be on merch, whether that be online on your screen, or whether that be on a billboard in Miami, like we wanted to make something that isn't too gimmicky, isn't too is clearly a pickleball club, and is simple and recognizable. So we were pretty thoughtful in terms of what we did in that respect. And then separately, somewhat related to the brand, but moving forward, as we think of how we want to represent ourselves, we have such an amazing ownership group as well. So from Naomi to Nick Kyrgios, Mahomes to Kygo, the DJ, it's a very and about 30 other people that maybe you haven't heard of, but have a very interesting and very interesting and various different expertise across the board, whether it be real estate, whether it be merch and consumer products, whether it be technology. There's like a really interesting group of owners that we have. And we really want to lean into that. We want to use that expertise. We want to use the personalities that we have, like a Naomi, like a Kygo, things like that, and put on events that make sense are in lines with them. So whether it be involving the music element because of Kygo, or whether we involve, whether Naomi is involved in our merch and designing a piece or a fashion line, like those are things we want to think about moving forward, so that we are representative of our owners as well. It's very, very fun being part of growing an organization from scratch. I think that if you told me a year ago that I would be doing this, or even 6 months ago when I was working at the World, or working on stuff around the world, the football world, the soccer World Cup, if I would be working in pickleball in 6 months, I'm not sure I would have believed you. But I think I'm certainly not the only person that would say that in the sport at the moment. I think that the growth in the last year, 2 years, whatever it may be, or even 6 months or 3 months since I've been involved, even, like, is pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, it comes with its challenges. There's just kind of lots of decisions being made, in real time around how the leagues run, how a team functions, how sponsors engage with teams versus leagues, how media rights are organized. Lots of different things going on, all real time, but very exciting to be part of. And like I said, it's just a crazy time for the sport. And the opportunity to be involved at this moment, especially, is a privilege, to be honest. We have to create a winning team, or a competitive team, and I think that we find that out pretty quickly. after the first event where, we the first MLP we didn't draft correctly. We took the wrong advice. One thing led to another, and we were 11th place out of 12 in the Challenger League, and I think that left us in a bit of a difficult spot. The good news is there's only 4 players on your team, and you make one change, and we're fortunate that change worked out really well. I think Brandon was an incredible addition to the team, and actually quite amazing that he was even available at that point in retrospect. But yeah, I think we talk about building a brand a lot, but first and foremost, we have to be a competitive team, and we have to do well on the court. So otherwise, the rest is not even worth talking about. So that's like a big focus, and that's been a big learning point for me and for us as an organization. That really comes first, I would say. And I think we're positioned. We obviously did pretty well in Daytona, finishing third, which was an excellent result given where we were last time, and we feel better moving forward, and that's great. First and foremost, the ownership, right from Naomi and the people that you guys know, and Kygo and his crew, down to the people that you've never heard of or you don't know, like the engagement from the ownership group has been just crazy how much people are into this and how much people believe in this, and also believe in the team and growing the team and want to offer help and connections and things like that. So just like I'm not sure I knew there was a large ownership group. I'm not sure I expected the engagement that we've had with our owners. Couple of examples, like we had an owners sort of regroup meeting or status meeting. Naomi attended in person, so which was really cool. We had Nick on Zoom. We had Kygo's manager, Miles was on the call. We had Prakash from the Tennis Channel on the call. We had a number of other owners on it. So the engagement there is like, I'm not sure I expected that. Nick in particular is just, he's all about it. He wants to play, to be honest. But whether it's him or Naomi getting involved in different aspects, Kygo's, the Palm Tree crew, which is kind of the group that's associated with Kygo, were huge in putting on that first event. There have been others that have brought forward potential sponsors. So yeah, the ownership groups, right down from like I said, the sort of athletes or musicians or celebrities that are involved, to the others as well, have been extremely engaged, and it's really, really fun to be part of that. Speak to different people and get different takes from different industries. It's very unique, and I don't think that would per se happen if it was a different kind of sports team or another professional opportunity. So the focus really is on seeing out the remainder of the year and positioning ourselves really well, because I think we know there's going to be promotion relegation, and this year is very much shaped in terms of sorting out where people land for next year. So it makes this extremely important to see out the rest of the events and do extremely well at them all. So we're really motivated to do that kind of in the short term on the playing side. On the commercial and brand side, we're going to announce the first sponsor here in about a couple of weeks that we just signed, which is really exciting. I think for the rest of the year, we're targeting more sponsorships. We want to work with the right partners. I don't think you'll see Miami Pickleball Club with lots and lots of partners. It's about, and I'm not sure that would be the case. That's not going to be the case, and we don't want that to be the case. I think what we see is bringing on board 2, 3, maybe 4 partners that are really engaged with our team and really make sense from a partnership standpoint, and we're both mutually benefiting each other to promote the sport, to promote their brand in the Miami market and beyond as well. So commercially, I think you'll see in the short term, like you will see one and hopefully a couple more partners come on board to sponsor the team, which is great. And we'll continue to develop those over the next couple of years as well. through multi-year deals, which is great. And then another sort of short-term goal is, I think, second half of the year, we'll be showing up more in Miami in the market. So whether that's engaging with grassroots pickleball and making sure that people in the city and in South Florida know exactly who we are. We're the professional team, and hopefully they can start getting behind us, whether that's through watching our events, buying our merch, attending our events that we'll put on in the city, or whatever it may be. So I think those are kind of to the end of the year goals. We really see ourselves as we want to be the first movers in the league. We want to be the hippest brand in the league. We want to make sure that we're positioned as Miami's team moving forward, and what that means to the city, and what that means to represent Miami. So moving forward, more brand building, hopefully more partnerships, competitive success, and kind of just riding the wave of pickleball a little bit as well. It'll be very interesting to see commercially and from a media rights perspective what happens with the league, and whether people are really going to watch it on TV and things like that. So my hope is that they do, but I think that longer term, we want to continue to build our team and solidify our spot in the Miami sports scene, and be one of the top brands in the league.